Hi, welcome back. I just got home this morning from my trip. I did a Bakersfield stand-up last night. I know I said that I have St. George for the rest of this month, but I picked up a Bakersfield stand-up last night. It left well, I had to be at the airport at 8:30, so I picked up the trip about 5 p.m. It was like 4:45, 5 p.m. So it was kind of a last minute trip pickup. But anyway, this is about what happens when you arrive to the gate and the door's closed, plane's still there, and you can't get on the plane, get on your flight. So let's start. Two incidents happened. So this morning when I left Bakersfield, we got to the airport about 5:30 a.m. and we got up to, they don't have KCM, which is known crew members for us, our security. So we just went through the regular passenger TSA security. So we're up at the podium and the captain and the flight attendant had went in front of me, and then it was me and then the FO. So this lady runs out of the store, which is right next door. You can't help but see her running over. And she tries to just go under the little belts that holds everybody in. And she tried to just go in that way through security, and TSA stopped her and pointed, you can go to the front, but you need to go back through security again. So obviously, something was going on where it was okay that she thought she could go back in, but of course you got to go through security. So she ran up to the podium where I was, and I was just holding my badge up to TSA. And the TSA person said, just wait a second, let these two go through and then you could go back through. So I went through, and then the FO behind me went through, and then she came through. So anyway, so we get down to our gate, and I see her on the right side, we all do, and her flight is to Dallas, but the door's closed. The plane's still there, but the door's closed, and the gate agent is down on the jet bridge at the plane. So I already know that setup is like, the flight's closed and she's not going to get on. So we go ahead and do our badge checks with our name, security check, and our customer service that's working our flight at our gate. We go down to our plane and we do our thing and everything, and we're full, so we're ready to go like 10 minutes early. So me and the other flight attendant, Connie, nosy. So what happened with that lady? Did she get on? And she said, no, she didn't get on. But what it was when she was in TSA originally, she had something in her bag, liquid of some product, and she didn't want to throw it away. And of course, you could take it back to your car, or you could have someone pick it up. But since Bakersfield is a small airport, she took it back to her car. And then when she came back in, she decided to go to the store. I don't know what she got. And then in her head, she just thought, well, I already been through security, so I don't want to miss my flight. I'm just going to run through and go to the plane. But TSA stopped her and said, no, you have to go back through security. And obviously she's fine with that. So they let her run up to the front, and that's where I seen her. But I did see her run from the store. So she did all this, and then she gets back to the gate, and they've already closed the door on her. And there was another guy there too that showed up late. I seen two people trying to bang on the door, trying to get in there, which you can't get in that way. But anyway, so it was sad for her that if she just, whatever she took to the car, if she would have just came back in, went up to the podium and got through security again, but she went to the store. I just thought that was weird. Like, I wonder what she bought, but I'm not going to speculate. So whatever she had to put in the car, did she go run in there and get it? But why did she have to get it right then? I don't know. It could have been something totally different. So anyway, when you get down to the gate like that, she was probably upset. I'm sure I didn't get to see that part of it. But once customer service closes out the flight, they print out the paperwork, the numbers go to the aircraft, the flight deck, then it goes to cargo, because they're counting the bags back there, and the numbers go to operations for that airport operations, which is the airline running that aircraft. So everybody's getting these numbers. The flight's closed, they're done. So now when customer service comes back up, the gate agent to the gate, that's when she has to, or he has to deal with this lady and the man. So the customer gate agent is thinking forward, let's get you on the next flight, which is my flight, if we can, or moving forward. But of course, these two people, they want to go backwards because they want to get on that flight, but they're not going to. So our flight was full, so she didn't get on, so I couldn't hear her story, or his. But hers would have been more interesting because I was wanting to know, what did she buy, what did she need in the store that she couldn't just go back down to her gate and get on her flight. But that's just Connie wanting to know. So, but those two, they didn't get on our plane because everybody showed up for our flight. So, and then the other scenario that happened 2 days before that was we were leaving at night, and I usually do the last flight, and it was like 9:20, doors are supposed to be closed, but it's not, I'm in the back. So I knew something was going on up front, and then it's 9:25, and normally the captain will make an announcement if we're going to be running late and let the passengers know. So most of the time. So he came on, 10 minutes later and said that we're going to wait for 2 passengers that have already landed in concourse A, and we were in B. So we were going to wait. The plane had already landed though, so we're going to wait for them, and but we're still going to be on time to Bakersfield. It was another Bakersfield trip that I picked up. So a passenger in the back with me, because I was in the back, says, why are we waiting for them? They never wait for me, which is probably true. I believed him. And it's not up to the pilots or customer service. Customer service has a manager, and they report to airport operations, which is the airline operations that's in charge of that flight. So they're the ones that know if these people are late and if they're going to wait for them or not. Most of the time it's passengers that are premium or, whatever status, depends on what airline, there's different names, but they've, whatever reason, they've been flying for a long time, or they're just premium, there's different names. Most of the time it's those passengers that they'll wait for. Is it fair to them? Yes. They got 1 trillion miles or whatever their status is. It's fair to them, and should it be fair for everybody else? Yes. It's just a slippery slope. You just, I asked the captain about it, and it's just a gray area. But 9 times out of 10, when they're waiting for passengers, it's the ones that are premium status, depending on your airline, what the status name is. So we waited for those 2 people to come over, and sometimes they'll say we're waiting for 3 passengers or 4 passengers, and they never make it. And then the customer service comes, gate agent, and says, you guys, we're leaving, we closed the flight. And I'm like, well, what? I thought we were waiting for 3 people. No, the manager, airport operations says we closed the flight. And so we just leave. And we never ask questions about that. It happens so much, we don't, why, we just do what we're supposed to do. So those are the 2 scenarios that happened this last week. And people are curious, like, why are we waiting? Or you get to the gate and your flight, the doors close and you can't get on your flight. And it's upsetting. And, customer service just wants to move forward. The gate agent has to deal with it. They come back up, like I said earlier, they come back up from the plane, and that's when they see the people obviously waiting there that have ran from another plane or, whatever it is, showed up to the airport and they're ready to get on their flight, and it's 2 minutes past that time. So the gate agent has to deal with that, and they'll either call their manager, it just depends, or airport police. And they're not, I'm sure they're not getting arrested. It's just, they're trying to just de-escalate it and move forward. Let's get you on the next flight, or what else can we do? Because that flight's closed. You're not getting on that plane that's sitting, your plane that's sitting down there. So, the police aren't trying to arrest you. I mean, I don't work in the police department, but, they just try to de-escalate, I'm sure. It's not like people are fighting at the gate. That's another video. So another lady this week was showing me her boarding pass, and she said, we usually arrive back into Phoenix at 9 a.m. That's what time we're supposed to get back from Bakersfield, 9 a.m. So this was Wednesday. And she said, my flight leaves at 9:30. And I'm like, okay, let me see your boarding pass, because normally it's the boarding time, not the departure time. You know, they get that confused. So I looked at her boarding pass, and it did say 9:30 departing, not boarding. So I was like, wow, that's 30 minutes. That's a tight connection. I said, but we're gonna be on time. Our plane's supposed to land at 9 a.m. and we're gonna be early, and you should be fine. And that's all I would promise, because even though we're gonna land on time, it all depends on the plane that's at the gate, that's already there. Are they having problems? Are they having maintenance? Are they waiting for somebody that's late? You know, you never know what's going on. They gotta push back, move out of the way, and then we have to park. We did park on time, and we were there like 8:55, so she had plenty of time. But with it being fall and winter and de-icing and shortage of pilots and crew members getting duty rest, and I would never do a tight connection like that unless you really had to. Like if it's an emergency, or you'll just deal with it, you'll take your chances. But if you see a flight, you coming in at, you know, we're gonna land at 9, and there's a flight, obviously hers was at 9:30, and then you see the next one is not till 10:45 or 11, I would take the 11. That way you don't, you can allow for any kind of mishaps that might happen. Because if we've gotten late that night and we need a duty rest, we're forced to leave 15 minutes after the departure time, they're gonna maybe miss their connecting flight. So, a long time ago, you would do a tight connection and just say, if I don't get that flight, if she doesn't get the 9:30 flight, then I'll just bounce over to the 10:45 or 11. But now all the flights are full. So if she thinks she's gonna catch the 10:45 or 11 and it's already full, she's not. Then she's gotta roll over to the next one and the next one. So I would always just try to give yourself some more cushion than 30 minutes. I mean, at least an hour if you can, but some people can't. Maybe that's the only flight, or it's an emergency, or you're trying to get to work. You don't have a choice. So I thought I would share that. Like I said, I just flew in this morning and I wanted to share that with you. I didn't do the video of Bakersfield because, like I said, I picked the trip up at 5 p.m. so it was kind of a last minute, even though I always have my uniforms together. And the airport's not that far. So I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.